Thanks for clicking. You're listening to Time In with yours truly, Tommy Crenshaw. With me, as not always, the amazing, fantastic, pogo stick bouncing Garry Leaf O'Donnell.
Hey, how's it going, Tommy? Yeah, thanks for mentioning the pogo stick, by the way. I wasn't planning on being here. I was outside the studio with that fantastic smoked salmon truck, getting me a smoked salmon hoagie. I love those over there. And,
they're great.
I didn't know that you were even, I didn't know you were recording. You were walking in the studio and I said, "Hey, Tommy," and you flagged me down. You said you were recording. So I'm here. I think it's great. I love coming on the show, but I wasn't planning on it. I'm not really prepared or anything, but I have my pogo stick. I was actually heading over to the pogo park. I was going to do a little pogoing, but I can do that later.
That's a lost art. I mean, that right there should be a sport.
It is a sport.
Maybe
it's a great sport. It's a great sport.
It's an activity. Let me just be realistic. And speaking of activities, Mr. Ricardo Lungus, for those who are wondering, he's getting some emergency eye surgery or eye thing going on there. He was riding his tandem bicycle. He always does by himself. He puts like a sack of potatoes in like the front seat. And it's like extra exercise, he thinks he's Rocky Balboa on a bicycle made for two. And he had apparently a pine cone just flew out of nowhere. This is a mysterious thing that happened. You could say maybe a squirrel saw him and thought he was ridiculous and was just, you see something that you hate, you just throw. We have a habit, Ricardo does, I do too sometimes. You see something you don't like, you throw things. You throw, I threw a dinner roll at a guy, I've talked about this before, who was, making weird noises and staring at me. Ricardo has thrown all kinds of things. I mean, staplers and hats and books. And I think he even tried to throw his own self at some old lady one time at the shopping mall because she was peeing on herself and he slipped. But that happens all the time. I mean, you slip in puddles of pee. It's just, you get the mall walkers. Maybe the pens are leaking. I don't use a brand name. And maybe there's an off-brand. I mean, how many different brands do you think of adult diapers are? There can't be that many.
Hey, it's at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I don't know. I never shop for them.
Yeah, I don't think the pens are going to leak. That's in the name. You can depend. But listen, when did this happen with Ricardo? I was a little worried because I just talked to him about 20 minutes ago on my way to the salmon truck.
That's more recent. I talked to him maybe about 6 or 7 hours ago.
He said he was in a. That's strange because I just talked to him. He was at that big lawn bowling tournament up in Pawtucket.
That thing? Whoa, the Pawtucket thing?
Yeah, that's what I just talked.
That's an invite only. That's limited.
He was really excited about it. Of course, I gave him some flack for it, but I don't understand your guy obsession with lawn bowling. I'm actually surprised you're not there with him. I was when I saw you going into the studio, I was thinking, well, that's really strange.
I don't know. That's I've known Ricardo for decades now. I mean, this guy was following in my shadow, doing sports writing behind me, broadcasting, and we've been good pals for a long time. So the fact that if he went and did a lawn bowling thing and didn't tell me about it, I don't know how to. I'll wait and address that later. We got to square off. He and I have been in about 7 or 8 fistfights over the years. It happens from time to time. He was dating my ex-wife at a certain point, and then he was dating my daughter at the same time, and cheating on my ex-wife with a daughter, which was confusing because it wasn't her daughter, but it was a step. But the point is that we'll figure this. Listen, we got a show to run here, folks. We'll be professional. Lawn bowling though is a passion of mine.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
If he's at the Pawtucket Invitational, then
I wasn't able to get a sense of. I was too busy. I was really focused on the salmon truck. I wasn't sure if he was playing or watching or what, but he seemed really excited about it, and
Here's the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to cause any issues there or anything.
No, I don't think you're causing an issue. I think he's embarrassed and I think maybe I blew up his spot. They say, I think maybe getting hit in the face with a pine cone because of somebody that saw you on a tandem bicycle with a potato sack.
Oh, you think he's making it up for me?
I think there's a chance. I mean,
you don't want to know.
But the Pawtucket Invitational is going on, so I mean that could go either way. So yeah. So anyway, that's beside the point. But you brought up a point there about the pogo stick thing. I mean, you're calling it a sport. I say it's not a sport.
What's the problem? Yeah, we have this. There's a long-standing thing, but people don't respect the pogo stick.
Well, you're not just standing on a pogo. You're bouncing.
You're bouncing all the time. You bounce from high. You're bouncing over gaps, and you're doing all kinds of things. The skateboarding's in the Olympics now, and it's the same thing. You got this. You're moving around.
Whoa! They're the same thing. No, pogo.
Yeah, they're the same thing. It's pogo stick is in the community we call it wheelless skateboards. That's what we call it.
Wheelless skateboards.
Yeah, they're skateboards without wheels. They have springs instead of wheels, but they're skateboards. You ride them, you jump over things, you do tricks. They're better than they're way better than scooters or rollerblades.
But so do rally cars. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it's also a sport.
Well, yeah, rally car is a sport.
Yeah, of course, exactly. So you just proved my point.
But you're trying to compare it to a rally car. I think it's just ridiculous.
You compared it to. You said it's just like a rally car. I agree.
Yeah, but I want to bring up something. It's kind of related. Is the Hall of Fame, right? Is there a pogo stick Hall of Fame? No, there's not, because it's not a sport. Thank you. That seals the deal. The conversation is over. You just lost it. You were bad. What do they call it? An esquire is another fancy term for attorney, the counselor. You take your pick. There's no pogo stick Hall of Fame. No,
not yet.
Because it's not a sanctioning body. You have to have a sanctioning body, and you have to face off 1-on-1 or have a racing event to be a sport. You can't just bounce up and down.
We race on them. We do pogo stick races. We do pogo stick races, and also there's endurance, right? Is who can bounce the most times. Like my personal record's 8,710. It's pretty.
90% of the people that use pogo sticks are bouncing in the basement while the laundry's going off, and they're stuck in 1974. That's the deal. But so not a sport, but that's fine. There's no Hall of Fame.
No, there should be though. Like you got guys like James Ramaladiatus, right? He's got 206,864 pogo bounces in a row. Like that's a feat.
Awarded by who? The Guinness Book people?
I don't know who did
Is that no? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I mean it's Guinness. Guinness,
and because there's no sanctioning body, so Guinness is a de facto thing.
Yeah, we take what we can get. It still happened. It still happened.
And who did? Find me the guy that ate the most pancakes, the guy that ate the Cessna, the plane. The guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying growing your fingernails out super long should be a sport, but I'm saying there are things in there that are sport. This whole idea of needing a sanctioning body to be considered the sport. I mean, even that's ridiculous. You love lawn bowling,
sanctioning body. Yeah,
is there a sanctioning body for lawn bowling?
Yes, there is.
Of course there is.
Yeah, North American Lawn Bowling Association.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be. All those people should retire and come work for the pogo people.
Well, they are retired, and they become really good older in age, and that's
right.
The thing about it.
Right, standing around in stupid-looking trousers playing fancy bocce ball. This guy jumps on
no. Bocce ball, that's like calling American football soccer. There's a difference between bocce ball and we're losing. We're getting in the weeds here, pal. So I think just pull it back here. Let's talk about Hall of Fames. They're not gonna have a pogo stick Hall of Fame. They do have a lawn bowling Hall of Fame, but it's in Lawson, Kentucky, I think. And there's 3 of them. There's other ones across the country. There's not a. They argue about which one. So the thing about this is about Hall of Fames.
They're stupid.
They are stupid.
They're stupid. Yeah, they don't make any sense at all. Yeah.
No, they don't. Okay, so you got okay, let's do the major 4 sports in the United States, which is the only important country on the planet. So you've got baseball, which is Cooperstown, upstate New York. Okay. So it's baseball. So it's not just Major League Baseball. There's all kinds of baseball. You got the Negro League. You got the lady people's
women's baseball.
Women, that's
League of Women's Ball.
Yeah, the League of Women's Ball, And they got, so that's that. You got up in Massachusetts, you got the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. So that's college and pro and WNBA and just all these little summer leagues, the G League, which is stupid. They're calling it the G League because of Gatorade. And I make the point, if the Powerade sponsored it, it'd be the P League. You got to stop this nonsense. But then you got the Football Hall of Fame, which is the NFL Hall of Fame, which is in Canton, Ohio. And it's this very ugly building, just ugly premises. Everything about it is ugly, but they don't care. But also, you don't do football, you got to do the College Football Hall of Fame, which ask anybody, nobody knows where it is. Nick Saban's probably going to move it to wherever he wants to retire to, the Bahamas or someplace. So my point is that it's all over the place. And I think somebody should capitalize or will capitalize on this and make an international or even just national. By the way, hockey is the NHL one, or the hockey one's in Toronto, Canada. You know, they follow suit of the American sports where they just said, we're going to put it at like offbeat towns. And Canada said, screw this. We're just put it in Toronto. Just because if you're coming from the U.S., you're not going to want to go. You only go, if you're going to Canada from the U.S., you're going to 3 towns, maybe. Toronto, Vancouver, and whatever that third city is. What's it called? I don't know. Nobody knows what it is. They don't even have a capital. Toronto doesn't, Canada doesn't even have a capital city. That's the thing. They just, so if somebody gets involved and says, we're going to make a International Sports Hall of Fame, we're going to include all sports, and we realize how stupid all the other Hall of Fames are, we're going to make them better. And you know where you put it? You put it in New York, put it in Manhattan. I mean, that's where like, people can fly all over the world. It's easy to get to. That's, and you bring in you guys that should be in the other Hall of Fames, right?
All right, yeah, okay. So like, if you got one Hall of Fame, you can have basketball, baseball, football. You have all these, and then you're able to take people that got gypped from the fake Hall of Fames.
Yeah,
put them in a real one that's recognized internationally. Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
so you just came up with that. You just thought of that as your idea.
No, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah, you should patent that.
Yeah, I patent. Well, maybe. Yeah, I'll look into that. But you could have a skyscraper in New York. I mean,
every floor is like a different sport.
No, every skyscraper, every building's a different sport. You connect them,
yeah.
Like they do in with the cold towns.
Zip lines.
Zip lines, slides.
Pogo stick bridges.
Well, maybe.
That'd be so fun if you had a bridge just for pogo stick.
If you got a pogo stick, why do you need a bridge? You just make the jump.
Well, it's gonna be too far unless you got one of those.
If you have a pogo stick, you're already committed.
Not this one. You'd have to have an extreme pogo stick. Which, by the way, okay, so what I do, maybe I'm not a sport, but listen, extreme pogoing. Look, they have pretty much a governing body at this point. They got an LLC following that, managing global operations. They have like exposure in the Olympics. Extreme pogoing is on the verge of really being recognized, I think. But yeah, you need a bridge. You can't make the jump from one skyscraper to another, probably even on extreme pogo stick.
Well, you do like the in Minnesota, like the Twin Cities, because they got all the snow and stuff. They do everything by all these walkways. Like, what do you call those? They're up like 4 stories or 5 stories, whatever. How high does a school bus pass underneath? Whatever that is.
Right.
You don't want to. They call it the can opener there in where's it, North Carolina, where there's trucks. You ever watch that YouTube channel? The trucks go underneath and it chops the top of the vehicle off.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, they don't want it that. So you put something high, but you put a skyscraper for every sport, or maybe you just, I don't know, you mix it up a little bit. But there's guys that should be in Hall of Fames, right? Like the Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame. Well, the Pete Rose. Pete Rose.
He should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I don't know why. It's really dumb. A lot of dumb rules keep people out of the Hall of Fame. A lot of bad public perception. That's not even the public wants Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. They want him in.
Yeah, everyone does. Except
for who?
Except for the purists. The purists.
Yeah, the purists. How do they get into control of it? I don't know. Like why isn't Sean Kemp in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, basketball. Yeah, Sean Kemp should be.
basketball is endemic.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a dead team, the Sonics maybe, and he got chubby. He turned into basically like the Eddie Lacy of basketball.
Yeah, but
I mean,
like,
he was a
those
Big
guys
Mac
got
attack.
six All-Star teams to
Yeah,
his name,
he
right?
should be in. Right.
NBA
No.
Finals. The guy's got, you could put a compilation together of probably 350 world-class slam dunks.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
He's littered the court with dead bodies, just dunking basketballs. That should, by himself, just dunking. Right now, here's the thing. Somehow, even with a massive history of epic slam dunks and all of these other accolades to his name, he's not in. Why? Because he got fat? That's it? No. That's it? That's what you got because he got fat?
No, I think Sean Kemp should be in the Hall of Fame.
Of course he should, right? Elvis got really fat. He's still in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, and that's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is in Cleveland, another town that makes no sense to have a Hall of Fame.
Also a really stupid Hall of Fame with a lot of people missing. This is a sports show.
Yeah,
so.
they put the rap stars in there, which I mean, who doesn't like some hip hop? I mean, you're bouncing down the road, the guy that's putting in your shocks, he's on some methamphetamine and your car starts bouncing. And you're next to some Latin King guy, and he's got his El Camino, and he's hopping, and you're bouncing a little bit, and he gives you a head nod, and you feel like, oh, you're part of the crew, so you're falling back to HQ, and then the guy pulls out like a silver piece, and you realize, wait a minute, you're out of your element here, and the guy shoots a chicken in the front yard because they've got chickens running around, those neighborhoods where there's just chickens. You ever go into a neighborhood and then there's like a chicken just appears on your head, and you have to go out and swat it off it's just like just so like I guess my point is that the Hall of Fames need to be consolidated. Well, somebody could take advantage of this and say, okay, you guys like the NFL's got the Hall of Fame. They present the busts. It's like a bust. Yeah, the breast is not even involved in it, and that's what I thought a bust was you start like below the cleavage. Some of these football players, big guys, they got cleavages. So but the point is you say we're gonna give you the whole body. We're gonna make you like a
big statue.
A statue would
and better yet, they should just they should get them when they die and put them in preservation like.
Yeah, they could do that. That'd be
like the actual. But yeah,
you know what you do? You take
these other guys. They got a uniform. We got the real athlete here under ice.
No, not under ice. Put them on display. Give them.
No, I think they got to sign a contract to get cryogenically frozen before they die. Because then think about how great that would be. Because then you're seeing Sean Kemp. You're not seeing a uniform. You're not seeing a dead body. You're seeing a real Sean Kemp that could be
Sean Kemp, but he's still alive.
He could possibly be brought back to life at any time. You don't know.
Yeah, but he's still alive.
That's a draw right there. That's a draw. It's really him.
What if you put like think of like you're going to combine? Here's the thing too. Like they said, NFL. I mean, football is fractured, right? With the Hall of Fame. So you got the college, you got the pro. Basketball is not. You got everything in there. But, like, what if you went into, like, the football wing of this international sports thing, and you got, like, Bear Bryant or better yet, Bo Schembechler, and you got him, like, you like he's got his hand out, you slap him 5. The players, they're going out in the field, they hit, like, the top.
Oh, yeah. It could be like it's a whole hallway full of these preserved. And they're holding their hand. You get to run down the hallway and high five everyone.
Think about slapping 5s with some of the greatest coaches and players of all time.
Yeah, take all my money. Take all my money. I'm there.
How would you pay for that? I'd pay for at least $32,000 or something.
I'd be so. I mean, I'd rather put my money on that than some space trip. Who wants to go to space?
Forget buying a Tesla.
Yeah, I want to slap dead people. That's where my money's going. Yeah, so you got to. The other thing is if you got a skyscraper for every sport. Now you can move beyond the important sports, quote unquote. You can move into a bunch of other sports which have great followings, championship play, world class athletes, and they don't get a lot of attention. I like the idea. You could have a skyscraper, and you got all kinds of you got things in there. One of my favorite sports, chess boxing. Right?
Wait, say it. Wait, no, I'm sorry.
Chess boxing. This is. chess boxing. This is where you get two guys in a boxing ring. You put a chessboard in the middle, and then they play a quick round of chess for about a minute. After that timer goes out, if nobody's been checkmated, they get up, they put on boxing gloves, and they try to knock each other out for a round. If nobody gets knocked out, they sit back down at the chessboard.
Well, I've never heard of this in my life. Like,
Yeah,
where is this from?
That's what I'm saying. It's a great sport.
This Russia. This Russian.
It's
right?
everywhere. It's everywhere. A lot of Russians
Yeah,
are
no,
good at
yeah,
it.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
Russians are good at it, but it involves a high mental acuity. It involves physical discipline. It involves strength. Boxing is clearly a sport. Right?
Yeah.
And chess is recognized as a, if not a sport, at least it's got a governing body. And
right, it's a competition event. Yeah.
yeah, so they just put them together and they alternate between them. You got this guy Nikolai. They call him the chairman Sazin, right? This guy's got an ELO of 1911. That's almost 2,000, right? You got Magnus Carlsen. He's pushing 3,000. 3,000 is the highest rated chess player in the world. This guy's got 1911. That's not shabby. And he was only 19 when he became the champion in 2008, right? A double weight division, light heavyweight and heavyweight at the same time, right? And he's playing chess and boxing. You know how hard it is to play chess normally. Imagine you just got punched in the head. And you're trying to play chess, right? And he won most of his matches by checkmate. So even after getting punched in the head, he's still winning chess at a high level. I'm saying that guy could be in the Hall of Fame. That'd be great.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Maybe more people played it, and it got if it's got a sanctioned body, stuff like that. Clearly, it sounds like a Russian sport. You're combining two Russian things that people.
Well, you did say it was an international all sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you
right?
put a wing in there. You ever seen a skyscraper right next to it? There's like this little a 3-story building that some grandpa refuses to sell. He's been the family heirlooms. He watched his whole family die in there because he didn't know how to open up the windows when he was letting out those gases. Because he had eaten way too much pickled herring, and so he's
you're not. I mean, obviously, these sports aren't as big as the big four. Okay, a big five if you include soccer, right? Okay, so but you could have a smaller skyscraper that houses all these other, like cheese rolling. I love cheese rolling. There's no Hall of Fame for those guys.
Well, yeah, now you get into just activities. I mean,
cheese rolling's a sport. Is running.
I did.
Running's a sport.
Okay, so with my son, when he turned 28, I got some slip and slides for him. And so these kids, these young kids, they like to slip and slides, and and I put 7 or 8 of them and put them in like a semicircle, and I said, okay, we're gonna start doing these races, right? So you would go like belly down, and somebody would stand on his chest. And then somebody would be on top of that person, and there's acrobatics. People got elaborate with it, right?
Yeah, right.
People got seriously elaborate with it. And then somebody took a flare gun and shot somebody in the face with it. And then, then the fire department had to come, and it's just you're dealing with the lawsuits, and you had to tear up the.
Yeah, I agree with you. We should have like an extreme slip and slide Hall of Fame too. Like I completely agree.
You're getting into the absurdities. So
it's not absurd. Absurd is in the eye of the beholder, right? What do you consider a sport? You just consider a sport because a lot of other people consider a sport. That's going with the herd. Doesn't seem like a thing you would do, Tommy. You got to open up your mind, right? You got to open up your mind.
I think you give things a chance to become a sport, but you don't just initially call them a sport. They got to work their way up.
No, work your way out. How do you work your way up? What does that mean?
Yeah,
how does cheese? What kind of gauntlet does cheese running have to run? Like they're putting themselves through extreme physical danger. It requires a lot of planning and agility, just like any other sport. Like you can't take anything away from it as a sport. It's a competition.
You know how that started?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because some drunk French guy lost the rule of cheese that he had. He swore that he was going to pay his neighbor. Because he had stolen a bunch of goats from his neighbor and was shaving them and was frolicking in the goat hair and mocking the neighbor. And so the idea is that he was chasing after cheese because he didn't want to lose the cheese. Anyway, so
why does it matter how it started?
It's just silly. It's silliness.
Speaking of goats, then what about Buzkashi? Right, Buzkashi's 100% a sport. It's a Middle Eastern sport. It's kind of like polo. They play it on horses. They carry whips in their mouth to like hit other players, but instead of a ball, they use like a dead goat's carcass, and they're trying to get that dead goat into another goal. Like it's 100% a sport. It has all the elements of sporting. That
Sure.
could be part of the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
as well.
fair enough. You put a little hut, put a little dung fire on just some spigot, and you got yourself a thing. Put it in Detroit for that matter.
No, put in another skyscraper. Right? These are all these are sports.
I was being a little bit exaggerating with the skyscraper thing. I have a skyscraper even for a football Hall of Fame. I just was having a little fun here, and you're taking it too seriously. There.
I'm not taking it seriously. I think it's great. International. You said all sports Hall of
all
Fame.
sports should be in there, but it's probably not going to be. If it's in Manhattan, maybe you put it in Yonkers or someplace like that.
You can't call it all sports if you don't have all sports.
Yeah, but you got to have Also, you expand on it when people get involved. People are paying for this thing. Which
that reminds me of the other day. I used that one. It's a seasoning called allspice. It's just one spice in there. It doesn't matter. I thought about that. Like, I don't know why people name that. If you're gonna call it all sports, that's the same problem. You got to include all the sports. And I don't think your definition of sports is quite accurate. Like,
listen, you could do you ever go into a video store and you think you start walking to the back. You think there's a back room.
Yeah, there's always a back room.
Well, not always. Sometimes they got the binder up front. They're like, hey, pal, we don't have the back room. Come look at the binder here. And you got to look at it. And there's patrons are walking by you, and they're seeing what you're looking at, and it's embarrassing. So so then you learn the next time to bring in a big windbreaker, and then you cover that thing. But the point is that that was a long time ago. I've changed. We all change. So my point is that you can bankrupt the Hall of Fames by bringing in people like your Barry Bonds, your Raphael De Palmas, Raphael Palmeiros.
Yeah,
your guys that were cheating, Lance Armstrong. You bring
of
guys
course,
like
Lance
that,
Armstrong. Yeah,
and you say bring these guys in. You know how many fans Lance Armstrong has?
That's a good point. Like the bicycling races or whatever. That's a good sport. That's not really a sport, but I would agree.
It is a sport. Yeah,
I'd listen. If that's a sport, then you got to let wife carrying in. Okay, which is fine. I like wife carrying, but I know you're going to say that's not a sport. But they're running almost an eighth of a mile carrying their wife on their back, right? And they're doing it pretty fast times, like 60 seconds for an eighth of a mile carrying another human being on your back. That's pretty good. That's a sport. Like, you can't say it's not a sport. If you're going to say bicycling's a sport, you got to say wife carrying's a sport too.
Yeah. So is the Mark Summers Double Dare stuff, the supermarket sweeps where you get the buggy and you're putting all the stuff from the fit grocery store in, and you see some guy grab some like macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so elitist about the sport. So like, okay, I know you like arm wrestling, right? I know you like arm wrestling.
Yeah. Arm wrestling's great.
Yeah, you're great. You consider it a sport?
Oh yeah, definitely a sport. Yeah.
Definitely a sport. So what makes it a sport? So what about toe wrestling? Right, Derbyshire, England. Alan Nasty Nash, right? 14-time toe wrestling champion. It's just like arm wrestling, except they use their feet and their toes. So you count that as a sport?
I get what you. Yeah, come on. Now you're just trying to challenge the system.
I'm not challenging the system.
Who's going to pay to go see that as a sport? Listen, you want to put it as a picture on the wall?
Lots of people. No,
put a picture on the wall. Listen,
a lot of people go see it. Like hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. This is what I think you do. I think you start wait, and you create like minor league system like baseball does, and hear me out now. Come on, this makes sense. All right, so you basically your fledgling sports, the ones that are silly, like spice collecting, and I don't know.
That's not a sport. That's a hobby.
Shoe juggling, and
that's like a skill. It's not a sport. It's got to be competitive. Speaking of hobbies, though, what about hobby horsing?
Hobby horsing.
Yeah, this is a Swedish sport. Listen, over 10,000 competitors a year, right? And they get these horses. There's like a stuffed horse head on a broomstick, and they race those around. They do like dressage events, jump over obstacles. They take it very, very seriously. 10,000 competitors a year. Like, what do you need to consider something a sport, Tommy?
Yeah, well, more than 10,000. You know how many NBA fans are, NFL fans?
No, these are contestants. These are competitors.
Yeah,
10,000 competitors.
Okay, how many family members do they have?
Yeah, a lot. These are mostly teenage girls, so they got.
Oh, now we're getting. Oh, come on now.
They got their families all there, so you're talking like at least 20, 30,000 people. If only their mom and dad come, they got a couple of siblings, got some boyfriends, got you got about 50, 60,000 people watching one of these things.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's a lot of people.
That's more people than watch the Jets. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah, fair enough. The Jets. No one's watching the Jets.
No.
So yeah. So we're getting in the weeds here. We're getting all crazy.
I agree.
So like, I just want to say this. I mean, the whole idea is that you create an international sports Hall of Fame, and the idea is you're bringing all these players that are not recognized by the initial Hall of Fames.
People are gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. You make it till you put more fireworks. You have more like pleasurable things for people of all ages. That just, you got to appease everybody. And, you bankrupt basically these little Hall of Fames. You bankrupt the Naismith one, the Cooperstown, you bankrupt these, and they don't know what to do. And and then you go in and you send like some secret agents to like buy up all this stuff. And and
here's the thing: like you're a different Hall of Fame. You're the All Sports Hall of Fame. There's nothing that stops you from inducting Michael Jordan, right? You're not the Basketball Hall of Fame. You're All Sports Hall of Fame, so you can get all the known Hall of Famers as well.
Well, yeah, of course. You're gonna say, listen, it's
a slam dunk.
Yeah, pun intended. Like this is like the All-Star game of the All-Star game for anybody, but you're bringing in guys that like you said, like. The ones that didn't, make the regular one, but they should have made it. Now you're jumping ahead. And then the other small Hall of Famers are going to try to bring them in and say, hey, no, we're going to induct you. And
it'll be too late.
Screw you, pal. Right.
Yeah. And here's the only problem I can see with this. It is a slam dunk. It's a 100% slam dunk. And it's a really good idea, but all of these sports, the buildings are going to have to be huge. And I think that the buildings are going to be too huge, and that's going to mean that it can't happen. And being that it is such a good idea, but the buildings are too big, it kind of makes it like the Sean Camp of Hall of Fames. It's just not, it won't work. It's a good idea in principle, though, I think.
And that's the end of the game.
Yeah, I got one more thing to say, though. Like 5 or 6 of us dated your ex-wife. You knew that, right?
Which one? You realize I've been married multiple times.
Like all of them. We've dated all of them. Like, it's kind of a thing that I don't know why Ricardo's the only one you're fighting, but yeah. TTFN. Thanks for clicking.